I don't like gaming phones. There, I said it. They look too futuristic. They have RGBs everywhere. It's even on the walls. Cringe. And I don't even play games. However, this Red Magic 11 Pro costs half as much as an S25 Ultra, and in some ways, it's actually better. But how is that even possible? Unreasonably big battery, a headphone jack, no hole in the screen. Wait, where did the selfie camera go? And you get all this cool stuff on the back. I don't know, like actual liquid cooling inside the phone and an actual fan that can blow out a candle? Well, at first I almost cremated my phone, but then I got the technique down and then eventually it worked. You might think that this is completely overkill, and you might be right, but before you write it off as just a gaming phone, even an NPC like me thinks that this phone has features that destroys other phones, with some massive problems that almost ruins it for me. Oh, come on, I thought it was perfect. So let's do an unboxing, and you thought I was gonna do a dramatic cut. So Red Magic actually sent this phone to me, but they're not sponsoring this video, so I can say anything that I want. When I received my package, I was pretty disappointed because in my tracking email, they put London 6 times, but when I actually got the box, it only said it 3 times. I can't believe it. In the box, you get a pretty basic plasticky case, an 80-watt charger, which is pretty rare to see nowadays, a red C2C cable, and as a bonus, they also put the phone in the box. How generous. And my first thoughts were, wow, this looks like a cyberpunk. Why are there like 16 cameras? What the heck is this blue ring for? My rent is due in 2 days. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Carrying this phone in public felt a little strange. It stands out in public so much that I don't even want people to notice it in case they thought I was a gamer. That's embarrassing. But what do they know about phones? One of the coolest things about this phone is that there's no cutout on the screen. So when you're playing a game, when you're playing very manly non-gamer videos, it feels so immersive when the entire screen is an actual screen. The selfie camera is somewhere underneath though, but it's so hard to see that it's basically not even there. Speaking of that selfie camera, the fact that it's under the screen, you might think that it's pretty trash, right? However, there is no however. So if I just open the camera and go to the selfie mode, look at the sky, look at my face, look how blurry everything is. Also, by default, beauty mode is enabled, and my mum says I'm already beautiful, so I don't need that. If I take a picture, what is this? The AI on this is crazy. For some people, a good selfie camera is really important. They might use it to create content online, or they might call their grandma in 4K Ultra UHD. But there's also people who don't even look at themselves in the mirror, so for those people, a good selfie is kinda useless. So this is an S25 Ultra, and the cameras on this are really good. The only problem is that those cameras stick out quite a lot, so when you put it down on the table, it rocks quite a bit. But with this phone, the entire back is flat, so when you put it down, it just floats about like a cloud. So if the cameras don't stick out, then surely they must be pretty bad, right? So as I was writing the script for the video, I decided to grab the phone, look to my left, and just take a picture. And it was okay, no red flags, but I was surprised that none of those 32 cameras is a zoom camera. So when I zoomed into this flower pot, the picture looked so fake that the entire thing looks like it was generated by AI. I only zoomed in like 3 times, so it shouldn't look like that. The actual camera sensor on paper is pretty good, which is confusing. So I got really worried and packed my bags and decided to take a few more photos outside. The trend here is that the photos are consistently mid at best, but when you zoom in, the phone panics and starts hallucinating detail with AI, which I can't lie look pretty nice on these windows, but then why does the bin need to be upscaled to 16K resolution? And the video just speaks for itself, since all I need to do is move the camera like 2mm and it has seizures. On top of that, once you start the recording, you can't change the lenses anymore. At this point, I was a little disappointed, but even more than that, I was confused. With good lighting, the 8K looks really natural actually, but then once again, the brightness just starts freaking out. It seems like they have invested like $6.42 into the research and development into these cameras, and it really shows. But before I grill this phone even more, because I really want to, I'm just gonna mention some other things that kinda blew my mind. So obviously for being a gamer phone, this has the fastest processor ever, which they're really proud of because it's literally on the back of the phone. And I'm not a gamer myself. The most demanding game that I'll play is probably Clash of Clans. And if I'm feeling brave, I'll even open a calculator in a pop-up window, which for some reason you can't even do that on this phone. But then it does let you do it the other way around, which is probably a better way to play this game anyway. And this game probably uses like 2% of that processor, so this isn't the best example. But you can open this menu, which lets you enable the fan and the liquid cooling, and then on the left, I found this setting called Diablo mode, which pushes the performance to the max and probably gives you telekinesis in real life. Now I watched Jerry's teardown video for this phone, and the liquid cooling has actual liquid flowing inside. For some reason I just assumed it would be some OLED monitor or something. There are a lot of customization features. You can make the fan spin, the liquid swirl around, and the lights strobe like a Christmas tree while it's doing absolutely nothing if you wanted to. And one of my favorite things about this phone is the magic key, which by default opens this game space, which literally traps you like a hostage and you physically can't leave until you flip the switch again. And forget the gaming section, this space gives you an AI girlfriend called Mora, which lets you zoom in to her it's fine, she's apparently 120 years old. You can dress her up, chat to her, place her on your desk. Do I need to keep going? Luckily you can customize the key and change it to open the flashlight because everything else on that list is pretty useless. The battery is probably the best thing about this phone because it's 50% bigger than the S25 Ultra. It's almost as big as this iPad Air. How is that even possible? The other day I woke up at pretty late, scrolled for 30 minutes, and the phone was on 120%. The battery is so good that it doesn't even drain. It regenerates. At this point, I don't even know if I need power banks anymore, or should I just be using this phone to charge the power banks? There is no way that you can kill this phone in one day. But if you do, with 80 watts, it charges back up in like 7 seconds. And the best part about it is that when you plug it in, by default, the fan kicks in, which is exactly what I need to go to sleep. But if I just ended the video here, this wouldn't be fair because on paper, this phone is just way too good to be true. All of this good stuff doesn't take away any space from the battery. It doesn't really make the phone super heavy or super thick. So what could possibly ruin this? It's the software. I get that this is a gaming phone and most of the time it's gonna be used to play those 3D anime games. But as a common peasant, I just want this phone to work. And I think I took my main phone for granted because I found so many little annoying problems about this phone. First of all, why are the animations so slow? Perhaps it's to show how smooth the 144Hz is, or maybe to mimic the iPhone. But then why give me the option to change the animation speed when it does absolutely nothing? I even went to the developer options and straight up disabled the animations and it still didn't do anything. The operating system sometimes feels like it's from 1964 because what do you mean there is no way to remove the app labels? How is there no way to have an expanded folder like I can on Samsung? And for being a gaming phone, not only am I confused, but I'm also confused because you can change the shape of the notification panel icons, but the icon does not support icon customization unless you scroll past all the fun gamer options and select the vanilla Android one. How am I supposed to know that? I turned off the fingerprint animation, but I can't change the design of the actual fingerprint, so I'm just stuck with this blue thing now. Though I must say, this is probably one of the fastest fingerprint scanners I've ever tried. Look at this. It's like it predicts that I'm gonna unlock the phone. This control panel, apart from being able to drag new shortcuts, doesn't let you customize anything. So instead of being able to control my smart lamp from the notification panel, I have to do manual labor and open the actual app. My life is so difficult, and worst of all is the software support. Not only is the software mid, but it's only supported for 2 years. And even that felt like secret information that I had to uncover deep within their website because the official page doesn't even say anything. Did they just forget, or are they telling us not to worry about it? Because now I'm worried. As a gaming phone, yeah, you probably will just replace it the next year, but when other phones offer up to 7 years of support, this phone feels already obsolete like 2 minutes after its release. Although, I feel kinda bad complaining about this phone because at least in the UK, it's cheaper than basically anything. It's cheaper than the base iPhone 17, cheaper than the base S25, cheaper than even the base Pixel 10, and that's already heavily discounted, and that phone has like 2% of the features of this phone. I would probably much rather pick up the OnePlus 15, but that costs $1,000 now. What? Anyway, this is the most powerful phone with the best features that I've ever tested. Red Magic is insane at what it does, but that's the thing, only at what it does. But if you're not a gamer, this feels like using a Ferrari in Farm. I don't have a Farm or a Ferrari. It's one of the best phones that I just wouldn't buy. Honestly, if they fixed the cameras and the operating system, this phone would be way too dangerous. Anyway, goodbye.